And welcome back to Fafana Maths class. Today we are going to look at one of the topics in mathematics called word problem. Okay, and we have a question on the board which says that Islam is 3 times as old as his son. 8 years ago, the sum of their ages was 48. Find their present ages. Okay, so he says that there was a man called Islam, and his age is 3 times that of what? His son. All right, but 8 years ago, their ages, the sum of their ages was what? 48. Now we should find their present age. As at now, what is their ages? Okay, now the first thing that we have to do is to select a variable to represent their age. Okay, so in this case, we will have a variable which will represent his son's age. All right, so we state that let his son's age, okay, or let the son's age be, say, n. Okay, so having let the son's age, if the son's age is n, it implies that Islam's age will be 3 times n. Because in the question, remember they said Islam's age is 3 times that of his son. So if Islam's son is n years old, then his son's age will be what? 3 times n. Now let's see. 8 years ago, okay, 8 years ago, the sum of their ages was what? 48. So now let's see, 8 years ago, what is the age of Islam's son? 8 years ago, son's age will be equal to n minus 8. Okay, so if his present age is n, then 8 years ago you subtract n from his current age. Okay, then Islam's age will be 3n minus 8. Okay, so if Islam's current age is 3n, then 8 years ago, if you want to find his age 8 years ago, you have to subtract 8 from his current age. Now the next thing you have to do is to read here, continue what he said. The sum of their ages was 48. So 8 years ago, this expression that we have, when you add them, when you sum them, which is n minus 8 plus 3n minus 8, you should get what? 48. Okay, so if 8 years ago the sum of their ages is 48, when you expand the bracket, you have n minus 8 plus 3n minus 8, which will give you what? 48. Now let's see, n here, so you add them, you get what? 4n, right, minus 16 equal to 48. Okay, so 4n here giving us 48 plus 16. Okay, so 4n will be equal to 74, right? So 74. Okay, will be 64. Okay, so we divide both sides by 4, here by 4. All right, so this 4 will cancel this 4. N will be equal to 64 divided by 4. You have 4 will go here, 1, then 2, 24, so 6, 16. So if n is equal to 16, it means the son's age is equal to what? 16 years. Okay, son's age, 16 years will be what? The son's age. So if n 16 years is the son's age, and we want to find Islam's age. Islam's age is what? 3 times the son's age, which is n. So it will be 3 times what? 16. Now 3 times 16, we have 3 times 6, you have 18. 8 remainder 1. Then 3 times 1, which is what? So it will be what? 48 years. And that is what? Islam's age. All right. Now, if you want to verify whether your answer is correct or wrong, okay, you can put these values, these their ages, into these equations to see whether the expression that you came out with, they are correct or not. Okay, so this will bring us the end of today's section.